Hello! Hello everyone! Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir les deux personnes qui sont là live en ce moment. Allô aux deux personnes. On va vous donner un peu de temps là, pour vous asseoir. Bon, là, vous êtes assis. Là, on vient de tomber à un. Oh non, on va pas être le fun. Mais c'est pas grave, hein? Parce que l'important, Dunlop, il a toujours dit, c'est de leur faire perdre le sang-froid. Donc, cette semaine, this week, hello everyone in the English environment, in the world of the internet, and far, far away and a long time ago in the galaxy. Cette semaine, j'ai approché le macro. Is that better? Eh bien, cette semaine, je ne savais pas trop qu'est-ce que j'allais faire comme épisode. I had no clue what I was going to talk about since last week was Endor, a few weeks ago was Endor, and a few weeks ago was Endor, and a few weeks ago was Endor. So since I want to do 2 episodes at the same time on the Disney series, this week we're not talking about Endor. I'm preparing something with one of my friends. Je suis en train de préparer quelque chose avec un de mes amis. On va probablement parler des... là, je te mets sur la sellette, M. Ked. J'ai un ami qui collectionne, en gros, plus précisément, du R2D2 et également du Boba Fett. I have a friend that collects a lot of Boba Fett and C3PO. C3PO and R2D2, Monsieur Christian Danier is in the house, mesdames et messieurs. Oh, j'avais eu l'idée qu'on pourrait faire un petit peu le tour de sa collection. I had the idea that we could have him as a guest and he could show us a lot of the variation, a lot of the items that he's got in his collection. So we're trying to prepare this thing. Maybe not next week, probably the week after that. Probablement dans 2 semaines, on pourra avoir un invité. J'ai également mon ami Kristen Lee, à qui il faut que je reparle. Hello, Kristen, if you're around. By the way, I've received your package today. Everything was great. Donc, j'ai mon ami Kristen Lee, qui est une professionnelle, ça, on ne peut pas appeler ça une professionnelle, mais une freak d'abord, des Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Et je vais faire une émission spéciale consacrée aux Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles avec une professionnelle, une collectionneuse, là. Tu sais. So I want to do a TMMT special episode, eventually with our friend Kristen Lee. So for the one that knows Kristen, I'm trying to put out of my head to convince her to do the episode with the thing on her face there, the filter. That could be fun. So this week, alors cette semaine, j'ai décidé de faire plutôt un Q&A. Il va peut-être avoir 0 personnes. Là, on est 4, tant mieux. On peut être 9, on peut être 100. Ça ne me dérange pas. Si vous avez des questions sur Star Wars, des jouets, if you have questions on toys, on Star Wars, on grading, on hockey cards, on collecting in general, if you want to know my middle name, well, my real name, whatever the information that you want, let me know. It's not like a open mic. I'm not necessarily giving you the burden of trying to find a subject. That's not the point. I want to know if you guys have any questions, and perhaps I'll be able to answer them. Perhaps I won't. Si vous voulez savoir si Sébastien Ked est célibataire, c'est pas moi qui va vous le dire. Fait que je peux vous donner son numéro de téléphone et son adresse. Mais bon, c'est une autre histoire. So, yeah, so that's it. I am, as usual, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Yoda's Workshop Facebook page, and I'm on my personal Facebook page, streaming this Vintage Kids episode. So if you guys have any question about anything, about toys, collecting, like I said, about comic books, about whatever, let me know in the comments. And if you don't have any questions, that's okay. I'm just going to blabber for an hour and we'll talk about Kurt Keck's underwear. Why not? So, like I said, I'm open for anything. Do you have problem with your spouse? Let's talk about it. Well, of course, you don't have any problem because it's a private conversation. You know? Wait. Fais-tu encore des échanges de cartes de hockey? So, my friend Christian Danis, en français, c'est Christian Dany, hein? Mais il faudrait que tu trouves un nom d'artiste, tu sais, genre The Ultimate Danny ou quelque chose, tu sais, quelque chose qui ferait peur au monde, là, tu sais. My friend Christian Dany just asked me, do I still do some trade? Am I still trading hockey cards? And the answer is yes. La réponse, c'est oui. Ben, c'est pas nécessairement que j'échange. J'ai recommencé un peu à collectionner les cartes. I started to collect again hockey cards. Once again, I'm going to try to do this in English and in French for our US viewers, English viewers, and in French for our Quebecers viewers, and perhaps les Français de France qu'ils écoutent, parce que ils aiment ça, les accents québécois, les Françaises. So just to give I'm going to give like a mini history about the reason why Christian is asking that question. I've collected hockey cards for most of my life. I've collected stickers and stuff as a kid. And in 1990, I was in high school. Donc, en 90, j'étais à l'école secondaire et la folie des cartes de hockey est partie. The craziness of hockey cards, well, not only hockey cards, but cards in general started again. And there was like a big boom. And I was lucky enough to be in a high school where people trusted me. I really don't know why. No. So the principal came to me and he said, Phil, would you like to take care of the high school store where kids could buy erasers and pencils and sheets and whatever and shit? I said yes, but I said yes for one condition. Donc, on va faire la job de m'occuper du magasin scolaire. J'ai dit oui, mais à une seule condition. I can sell hockey cards. I was a businessman very young. So, donc, j'ai accepté si je pouvais vendre des cartes de hockey. Donc, je me suis ouvert ma petite shop de cartes de hockey en 1991, 92, là, à peu près. 90, 91, 92, peu importe, là, c'est dans ces années-là. Et j'ai commencé énormément à plus collectionner les cartes de hockey et je me suis monté une méchante belle collection. J'ai encore beaucoup de cartes. I still have a lot of cards from those days. But I started to collect again, I would say about a year ago when, maybe a little more of a year ago, when the new Upper Deck series came out, and it was there was the Cole Caulfield card. And I've already talked about this, but what I really think that gave another chance for the hockey cards, and not only hockey cards, football, basketball, baseball, all sports included, is like the inserts. You can now get like a signature card. You can get like a patch, a part of a jersey, a part of a puck, whatever, and signature cards. So I thought it was interesting. I started to buy a new hobby box and stuff to get the new sets, and it was really fun. So I buy a lot of these and try to get some cool things, but I would say like at 95%, 97%, I don't get good cards. I get the regular ones. Sometimes you get a good hit, but not much fun. Not much very big values. Mais oui, donc j'ai continué pour répondre à la question de Christian. Oui, j'ai recommencé à collectionner, à échanger. Puis là, j'ai commencé même à en mettre à vendre. And it's funny because I started to get back into cards with the Star Wars cards before the hockey cards that came out about a year ago, like I said. Donc, c'est vraiment les cartes de Star Wars qui m'ont ramené. Et évidemment, c'est tout le côté gradé aussi. C'est depuis maintenant que je collectionne, quand je réussis à mettre la main sur des figurines gradées, que ce soit Star Wars ou autre chose, que ce soit loose ou bien Minton Card. All the aspect of graded stuff, I think, is amazing. And of course, there's PSA and KSA cards that are graded, and that gave me back like that spark. And for a little, I would say, for the last year, about the last year, I managed to get myself a good collection of graded Star Wars cards, graded stuff. So all vintage, and some of these are going like for good money. So yeah. Fait que ça répond à ta question un peu, mais oui, j'ai continué à collectionner les cartes. Puis oui, j'essaie de trouver des places où est-ce que je peux pogner des hobby box comme moins chers, ou même des je sais plus comment ils appellent ceux-là, là, les mini box, puis les retail box. Mais c'est sûr que les hobby box, c'est toujours la meilleure affaire pour aller chercher les cartes numérotées, les cartes qui sont signées, ou bien les plus rares dans les sets insert. Fait que oui, c'est quelque chose que je suis toujours, je pourrais dire, en amour avec la collection, le côté collection. C'est justement, j'ai viens de me faire livrer ça par Amazon, parce que là, j'en ai plus, là, parce que je mets toutes mes inserts dans dans ces espèces d'affaires de ultra pro, puis les cartes plus larges aussi. Fait que c'est ça. Je fais juste une petite parenthèse également. Là. Si vous avez d'autres questions, if anyone has another question, go ahead. I'm just gonna blabber more about cards here. I was really, really surprised and impressed by the fact that Topps and Star Wars are now giving away. Well, not giving away, but they managed to give some parts of Star Wars sets and Star Wars ships and Star Wars clothing of the costumes that are used in the movies and in the TV series. I know that you can, if you're lucky enough, you can get like a card with a piece of the Millennium Falcon on it. You're gonna say, man, they did not destroy the complete set. Well, they did destroy the one that they used in episode 7 and episode 8 and episode 9. They were not able to keep it up and running, so they unbuilt it. So and they are using parts of these to make some cards, and you get a piece of the Falcon. That's amazing for me as a Star Wars lover and card collector, that you might have a chance to get a part of the Falcon, part of the Star Wars set. That's amazing. And I don't have it with me right now. So I had no idea what question what we were going to talk about. But I'm lucky enough to have a card that has a piece of the what's the name of the bunker there in Return of the Jedi on Andor. So I have a little piece about that size of this set. So I mean, that's amazing. That little thing was in Return of the Jedi when I was a kid, and I have this little piece of it. That's great. Another thing that makes me think about it about that is I also managed to get a piece of coal that was in the Titanic. Um, and it's numbered. It was dragged from the ground on the Titanic site. For me, that's amazing. So to think that that little rock that I have in my possession was in that ship when it sank. I mean, that's crazy for me. Anyway, so if you guys have any other questions, this is a Q&A. Go ahead. Let me know if you need to know anything else or you need help on any subject. Like I said, if you want to know something more about me, about Yoda's workshop, about whatever, what's the temperature here in Blainville? It's really hot. Yeah, it's hot. Not as hot as me, but it's pretty hot. I can see the comments on Yoda's workshop, and I can see the comments on let me see, on my personal page. I think they will show up right here on this screen that I'm using over right there. No, not right there. I don't know. So yeah, but I'm gonna do the same thing with you guys. Christian, what the hell is happening with you, man? Qu'est-ce que tu deviens? Tu vois, c'est moi aussi qui peux poser des questions. Ça fait comme une éternité qu'on s'est pas vu, man. Fait que tu restes-tu encore au Canada? Do you speak the French? Do you Saint-Tropez? Tu sais, je ne sais pas, là. Fait que si tu es encore là, tu me laisseras savoir qu'est-ce qui se passe avec toi, man. Parce que elle sait-tu, moi? Eh ben non, elle ne sait pas. It's a mystery. Mystery. So, let me think about the subject that I can talk while we wait for maybe a question, since it's a Q&A. I was lucky enough to meet someone that is near here, and he actually built some great stuff with, I think, is a 3D models, a 3D printer, and he just created a R2D2 life size, but not the one in the movie. It's it's a replica of the R2D2 that we have. You can find in the Droids mint on card series, like, you know what I mean. Not the one from episode 1. And I'm talking with this guy to see if I can purchase one of his life-size R2D2. And like I said, it's a replica of the toy. It's not a replica of the actual R2D2 with all the electronics and stuff. So I actually send him a message. So if you're listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. So perhaps in a week or so, or in the next month, I'll have the opportunity to put my hand on a life-size R2D2, and can't wait to show you guys what this thing looks like. I actually have a picture, but I'm not going to show it on screen because it's on my phone. Wait. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Give me a second. I'm going to try to find it. Okay, Christian. Je collectionne encore les cartes de hockey, les cartes de voiture. Oh, ça, c'est cool, ça. Ça, je savais même pas qu'il y avait des collections de cartes de char. Tu vois, tu m'apprends des affaires, man. Je vais enlever mon micro. C'est mon micro qui me dézoome. Bon, la caméra refait des siennes. J'organise des rencontres de voitures anciennes à Laval. Oh, nice. À tous les vendredis. Shit. Durant l'été, les bolides du Nord. Et je reste à Sainte-Sophie. Ah ben, tabarouette, t'es pas loin de chez nous, mais moi, je suis à Blainville. À combien le R2? Ben, écoute, je pense que lui, il est vend comme 2005 ou 2000 quelque chose. Moi, je suis en train d'essayer de dealer quelque chose avec lui pour que ça soit comme half and half. que ce soit comme il y ait de l'échange là-dedans, puis tout ça. Je te mettrai peut-être en contact avec lui, je t'enverrai il avait posté une annonce dans un des groupes de Star Wars. OK, let me try to find a picture of that thing. I think I have it. But give me a few minutes to see if I can locate it. Donc, s'il y avait d'autres questions, il y a juste 3 personnes, mais c'est pas grave. Je vais vous montrer et je vais vous parler de toutes sortes de conneries. Bon, fait que ça ressemblerait à ça. Non, c'est pas lui de Droids, finalement. C'est le standard qu'on retrouve. Voilà, je sais pas si vous pouvez voir, là. Donc, ça ressemblerait à peu près à ça, mais c'est un life size. Donc, c'est une réplique de ce qu'on était habitué de jouer avec quand on était petit. Ouais, c'est pas super, hein? Comme résolution. Il faudrait que je l'envoie puis je vous la montre. Je peux peut-être faire ça. Donnez-moi 2 secondes. On va en profiter pendant que le monde ne pose pas de questions. C'est là, ben oui, c'est un Q&A, là. Ah, c'est sûr que le monde ne pose pas de questions. Vous êtes tous gênés, ici. C'est carré. You're all shy. Bon, je vais m'envoyer la photo si je peux la retrouver. Et une fois que je vais me l'avoir envoyée, je vais pouvoir vous la montrer là sur l'écran comme je fais pour quand je fais Endor, je peux partager le screen. Et c'est ce que je vais essayer de faire avec vous, avec cette photo du R2. Voilà, envoyé. C'est parti. OK. Ce que je vais faire, je vais aller la chercher ici. Ne quittez pas trop vite, là. Bon, ça c'est quel? Ça, c'est le 23? Mais non, c'est le 25. Je ne sais même pas si ça marche. C'est pas grave! L'important, c'est de leur faire perdre le sang-froid. Ça, il l'a toujours dit, Dunlop. Bougez pas, je vais aller chercher la photo que je vous parle en question. Je vais la saver, enregistrer sous. Parfait, on va aller mettre ça ici sur le bureau. «1943». OK, je vais baisser ça ici, baisser ça ici, baisser ça ici. J'en ai nommé des fenêtres ouvertes, moi. Et on va ouvrir ça. Voilà. Et là, je vais aller partager cette photo à vous, mes chers amis. Et je m'en reviens ici. OK. I'm going to show you what I was talking about that R2-D2 that I might have the chance to get. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to use the window. I'm going to use this. On fait partager. On va faire masquer. Let's go back here. There you go. I'm going to try to put even bigger. So this might be the next big thing I'm going to get. So that's a life-size R2-D2 replica from the... well, it's not from 1977. Why? Because you have actually the sensor scope right here. So that would be the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi without counting the last 17 one. So life-size R2-D2 replica of the Kenner vintage toy line. So maybe, like I said, things are not yet all fixed, but we're getting there. Il est 3D printé. Fait qu'il est en plastique moulé, pas moulé, des détergents, des détergents. So, guys, like I said, this is a Q&A. If you have any questions, go ahead. J'aime bien la question ici. I've got my friend that asking, is it in metal or in plastic? I said, it's 3D printed. So, is it in plastic? I don't know. Maybe I was 3D printed myself. I'm going to need to talk with my mom. Okay, let me see if we have something on this page that is live. Yes, Okay, this is working. Let me see if this. Okay. Donc, comme je vous disais, c'est un Q&A, mais s'il n'y a pas de questions d'autres, c'est pas grave. Moi, là, je vais radoter, là. Il me reste 35 minutes. Oh, James Arsenault! You can't. Yes, you can comment, my friend. Go ahead. How crazy this is. Now you're James? I'm confused. Well, welcome aboard. If you have any questions on any subjects on anything, go ahead. Let me know. If you guys are commenting on YouTube, this is probably why I'm not responding because I cannot see the comments. I go by Jim. Yeah, I know. But James is nice. James sounds like more of a president, CEO of a big company. James Arsenault. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new CEO, Jim Arsenault. I'll vote for you. Well, that's a funny thing. I'm gonna create a question for this Q&A. Now I just learned that your name is actually James, and I've always called you Jim. I've known you for what, 2 years? Yeah, around 2 years, maybe more. And yeah, probably more. We're at 120 something MMCs. So anyway, so your name is Jim Arsenault. Well, no, your name is James, and everyone calls me Phil, but that's not my name. My name is Elvis. No, that's not true. My name was supposed to be Helen. Come again? Yes, my name was supposed to be Helen, but it's not. That's probably a good thing. It probably saved me a lot of therapy as a kid. Um, the reason why I'm saying this is I'm the second kid in the family. So I've got an older brother, and my parents, well, my mom really wanted a girl. How disappointed was she when she saw that little thing there? I was a disappointment to my mom even before I was born. I love that phrase. No, my mom loves me. And sometimes she calls me Helen, but hey, no, that's not true. Uh, and my name is Phil. Well, my real name is not Philip. It's not Philip. It's actually. Ooh, I gave it a hint. It's actually Louis Philip, Louis Philippe LeBlanc. So Louis Phil LeBlanc, but nobody calls me. I'm on YouTube and comments are working. Oh, good. I couldn't comment on Facebook. I let StreamYard have permission, but still wouldn't work. Wow, that's a lot of shit going on right there, man. Yeah, I know. I stopped telling people that you to go accept or give the permission to StreamYard because that was a lot of problems. Lewis was my dad name. Wow, cool. Phil was my brother's name. Why was? Are they gone? I'm probably your father, just like mine, died. My father's name was Mike Michel. And it's funny because I'm going to tell you something about this. We're not talking about any Star Wars stuff right now. Anyway, that's okay. Uh, I've always wanted to do movies. I always wanted to play in. At first, I wanted to be an actor. Why? Because I saw Star Wars and I freaked out. I'm really sorry to learn that they both passed. My brother's still alive. He's 51. And my dad passed away in January. He was 81. 81? No, it was more than, he was 82. 81. He was 81. He was about to get, he was getting at 82, but he did not make it. It's probably a better thing like that. What was I saying? So you have Louis was your dad and Phil is your brother. Man, you have my complete name in your family, but both are dead. I'm sorry about that, but I hope this is not telling me something. But yeah, what was I going to say about? Oh yeah, my dad. My dad's name is Michel, Mike, Michel Leblanc, and my dad did what I've probably wanted to do all my life. He did tons of TV shows, not as an actor, but he was selling um, fishing and hunting for Quebec in the US on TV and in Europe. And he did tons, maybe hundreds of TV shows with on TSN and Canadian sports fishing and whatever. And my sister-in-law was a Leblanc. Yeah, but it's from New Brunswick. Everyone's named Leblanc over there. It's funny. That's another thing. Let me keep that in mind. So a funny thing is, so my dad did tons of TV shows, and I was jealous because I wanted to be the one that would be an actor or play in on TV or whatever, or do movies. Well, I did. I worked all my life doing little movies and stuff. But the funny thing is, just like with our friends in the US, when my dad was like co-hosting Canadian sports fishing or other stuff on TSN or on PBS or whatever, everyone would call him Michel LeBlanc. So tell me, Michel. And I said to my dad, I said to my father one day, why don't you go by Mike White? Mike White. I mean, what a fucking good name, Mike White, man. King and King Production. Oui, exactement. T'as entièrement raison. Puis écoute, Christian, je fais une parenthèse rapide. My company name has always been King and King Productions, and I opened my company in 1989, 1990, and I started doing movies and whatever. I always did my stuff. And I closed my company officially about 3 years ago. And because I was not doing any more movie stuff, I'm working somewhere that I do movies, but on my own, I've stopped. And now I'm thinking of reopening a company, but it's like, I think I had like a little tear when I closed the Production King and King. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, James. Yeah, I mean, good thing that you're not a Bond, because James for me, there's James Versepe, there's James Bond, there's so many great James, man. Still have your first ticket of your first presentation. Ah, le film, c'était-tu Secret d'amour ou bien à Bad Witness? Je pense pas que j'avais fait donner des billets. Ça, c'est en 93. Yeah, in 83 and in 93, I did a movie with my friends and we presented it in my college in a big, well, small uh, room theater thing. It was cool. But in 95, I did a bigger movie and I was lucky enough to have subventions from, from money from the government to help me out. Bad Witness avec la cour d'auto, man. Bad Witness, c'est mon deuxième film, actually. Bad Witness was actually my second real movie, because the first one we did was in 1990 and it was called Vive le Cinéma. And it's a funny thing because the idea that we had for that first movie was actually a few years after that we made our first movie. Came out the movie of with Arnold Schwarzenegger called Last Action Hero. And The Last Action Hero, if you guys did not see that movie, is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger that plays a superhero in movies, and this kid end up in the movies, and he's like, what the hell's going on? I'm in the movie. And this is exactly the idea that we had before it came out, to make our first thing. So we're going through a Back to the Future and whatever in few movies. But we were kids, man. But it was amazing. It was really fun. Um, so so James, it's a funny thing about the Leblanc thing that you're talking about is the family of my mother's family is all in New Brunswick, and they're not Leblanc, they're actually Frenette, and there's a lot of Frenette over there. But my dad is Leblanc, and he was born in Montreal, just like me. So a lot of people saying, I say to people, oh well, half my family's in New Brunswick, and they always say, oh yeah, you're a Leblanc in New Brunswick. I say, no, les Frenette. Funny thing. Anyway, I saw yeah. So let me go check this thing. Ouais, le modèle télécommandé, man, Christian, que tu viens de m'envoyer, écoute, c'est un rêve que je pense que je pourrais jamais me payer, là. Tu sais, peut-être qu'à un moment donné, si je suis assez chanceux de tomber sur un gars du 501 ou quelqu'un qui va en avoir comme construit un, qui va être prêt à le vendre pour pas trop cher, je pourrais peut-être en pogner un, mais je vais commencer avec on va commencer peut-être avec la réplique du jouet. Puis... Mais ça, tu sais, le Kirk que j'ai, le Stormtrooper, ça, jamais je pensais que j'allais pouvoir en avoir un jour. Puis, gars, il y en a un en arrière de moi. Fait que je suis vraiment content par rapport à ça. OK. So, if you guys have any other questions, go ahead. I'll be happy to do my best to reply or answer the best way I can. Je vais essayer de voir. Okay. So there's another thing that people are asking me a lot of times, why aren't you in the Comic-Cons and why aren't you doing any shows with your collection? Or because people think that I'm a store. I'm definitely not a store. I did in the past a few Comic-Cons in Montreal. I did the first and the last Comic-Con yet in Laval. Laval. What is Laval for people in the U.S.? It's the city right next to Montreal. There are both islands. Montreal is an island, if you didn't know, and Laval is the other island right next to it. It's the 6th biggest city in Canada, and I was surprised to know that. 6th or 7th or whatever. And so I do some Comic-Con. I did some Comic-Cons, and I did a few shows around here in Blainville. But the thing is, these shows cost a lot of money to be there. And when you go to those shows, you got like these huge tables and see great stuff, great collections or whatever. But usually the ones that you're seeing there are the ones that got a company. Les gens qui vont là sur les Comic-Con, c'est qui ont des compagnies, c'est des magasins, c'est des justement, on parlait de production King. We're talking about my company there. Since I don't have a company, I don't have a store. This is all for fun. So just to give you to put you in perspective, when I did the last Comic-Con in Laval, it was 2 days, and to get my table was $600. So you're gonna say, yeah, $600. That's about $3 US. No, so that's $600 that you actually have to pay to be there on the table, and that's just like a very small space. When you're a company or you have a store, you can put that money on your lost or investments, so you're not really losing it, because when you're doing your taxes at the end, you can say, all right, I paid $600 for advertisement or whatever, but I cannot do that. So when I have when I manage to get to a Comic-Con, if I have to pay $500, $600, before I make any kind of money, I have to sell $600 of stuff to get my $600 back. and then I'm starting to make $1 or so, whatever. But people are also saying, well, it's exposure. You're gonna get more exposure. I don't need more exposure. So if the prices of the cons and the les expositions were less, I would do more of them. Uh, Also, if my health would can provide uh, good days, and anyway, that's another subject that I'm not going to go in there. But it's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. So it's fun. It's always amazing fun. It's great fun. You meet and you make new friends. You meet some actors or whatever. I've met Daniel Logan in the last con, and I'm lucky enough to have the chance to talk to him when I want. But anyway, since I don't have that kind of money on my hand to pay like $600 for taking part of my collection and go show it at a con, and you need help to do this. You cannot do this on your own. I mean, just talk with Michael Heavens with the ICCC. I mean, he's not able to do this on his own. He needs a big, huge team behind him, and it's the same thing. Even if you have a simple table, you have to get a car big enough or rent a truck. You need manpower. You need so many things to make sure that everything goes well. And of course, you don't want to get your stuff stolen, so you need people that while you're talking with someone is still there watching to make sure that your stuff is not being stolen. But I really want to do more. And what I've been thinking about, for I think I've talked about it before, is to do one by myself, like Michael does in Tennessee, but not as big. It's a very small thing. I would love to like get a get together with the Vintage Kids audience and the Yoda's Workshop members here near Montreal. I would rent a some rooms, not hotel rooms, but des salles. How do you say? Yeah, rooms, but not for not hotel rooms like that, but and then I could like invite some people to join in and help me to pay for all this. They would be able to expose their stuff too, and sell stuff too, and whatever. And with all the contacts that now I'm lucky enough to have, I would love to like have some guests, but the guest would be one-on-one, but just like we're doing right now. I'm just giving an example there. I was talking about Daniel Logan. If I manage to talk to him and convince him, hey man, I'm doing this like con for Yoda's Workshop, would you agree that you could take some question from the audience? But he would not be there, but we could do it like live, like we're doing it right now, so it could be fun. And not only like Star Wars actors, but could be also collectors, big names in collectors. We have great people all around the US, all around Canada, that are people that got so many information on the subjects, on where to go, what to do to make sure that you're not being scammed, to make sure that you're talking to the right person. So that would be something I would love to do. There's so many good people also around here near Montreal, that in the area, that are do the same thing. Jeff and Kim, Steve Gros-Louis, those guys are like they played in the Star Wars documentary that they did a few weeks ago. I haven't seen it, but these guys are real collectors. They love to collect Star Wars, and They also do podcasts. So I mean, it would be fun to have a gathering all at the same place and invite all the members to join us and meet with us and trade stuff, sell stuff. That would be great. But that's a dream that it's here, right there, and I'm thinking about it. But like I said, I have to also see if my health will allow it. Talk. So yeah, so we're still 3-person. That's okay. For a Q&A, that's not much. That's not a lot of people, but doesn't matter. Oh my God, we just jumped to 5. So anyone got a question? I've got a question. Where does this sentence come from? Let's do a quiz. No, I'm kidding. So if you guys don't have any other questions, let me think about other stuff that I can talk to you about. We've talked about hockey cards. We've talked about the cons. We've talked about the costs of the con. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about something that I thought about earlier this afternoon. Questions. Do you have an M1 Pew? Oh, I forgot to check, man. I totally forgot to check. Maybe. Look, I'm going to take a note right here, okay? So, for my friend James, for a M1 Pew. You're fired. See, that's why I don't have a company anymore. I'm not reliable. But as you can see, James M1 Pew. So I should remember now if I don't lose the paper, but it's pretty big, so I should be okay. But I'm gonna check. I swear to God, if tomorrow you don't have any news from me, write me again. You're fired. So yeah. So what I was about to say, once again, if you guys have questions, go ahead. I'm gonna blabber until there's more questions, and try to ask questions that I can answer right away. James. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about is, did you guys see the new retro collection that will come out with the Return of the Jedi series? I mean, we knew it was coming. I was hoping for certain action figures, and it's coming out. It will come out, I think, in January or something like that, or even sooner than that. If you guys didn't know, let me find out, and I'm gonna try to show you pictures of it. Return of the Jedi Retro Collection. Retro Collection. OK. 4 jours. Okay, so let me share you the screen again. Let me go right here, and I'm going to share you the screen. Let me add to screen. That's not the one I want to do. Let's remove this one. Stop screen, preset, share screen. And I want to share, not this one, partager. Okay, I just want to go check if this thing is working correctly. Okay, there you go. So these are the retro collection figures that will come out I don't know when exactly. Is there a date? Anyway, I don't think there's a date. So I'm going to click on each of them. So you're going to have, of course, we're going to get the Luke Jedi, and they put up the green saber and not the blue one, which is a good thing. I don't know if it's going to be a snap-on cape. That's a no-brainer. Of course, they were going to put this action figure. It's a popular one. It's a great figure. The big difference on this retro collection set is the 40th anniversary tag that will be on the upper left of the card. Let me go back to, so we're gonna have Jedi Luke, Jedi Knight, and we're gonna get Organa, Princess Leia Organa Bausch. It looks pretty much the same. The helmet looks a little bigger, I think, on over here. Still same cards. I think it's the same picture on the card back. We're also gonna get, of course, the Han Solo Andor figure with the lapel, with the ones that are actually showing on the top. You know that there's the variant that there is no print on this part, on the real one, not on the retro collection one. We're gonna get this one, of course, Lando. So we always need a Lando to being used as peg warmers in every Walmart. It's a funny thing because, oh, this is gold. Was it gold? I think it was like more of a grayish and not gold. So that will be a difference if it's really goldish. The funny thing is, this action figure, this one, because of the helmet, I've always loved that action figure as a kid. Anyway, let me go check if there's no question on the Q&A. So let me continue talking about this. We're getting the Emperor. Looks exactly the same. Same card back also. So I'm starting to wonder, are they going to do a second set of every official movies from 77, 81, and 83 after that? I don't know. The question is, why? Why? Anyway, and that's one of my favorite of all time. That's my favorite stormtrooper. This is the biker scout. And of course, they did the same weapon. So this weapon is pretty hard to find when you've got when you've got this action figure, a vintage original one. It's pretty hard to get the weapon. So I hope that the people won't use this and sell it as a original. I know there are repros of these, but you can easily say which one is the original and not. But with this one, I don't know what it's going to look like exactly, but I hope that they won't use it as an original and sell it. But same thing, same great action figure. But I hope they'll stop that retro collection thing. It's like, okay, that's enough. The figure that I would have loved to see in this set would have been the Royal Guard, but that's my personal opinion. It's worth what it's worth, as usual. Okay, let me get this thing out of here. Stop screen. Doo-doo! So there's only 6 minutes left. I hate repro sellers. Well, I cannot say that I hate repro sellers, and we could do like a complete episode on this, and I'm probably gonna lose friends because I totally understand the fact that people are using repro weapons and sell them as regular originals, and that's really, really wrong. I'm 100%, 200% with that, and I that's not right, and that's the reason at first why I think it's repro is bad, but I totally understand someone that is a collector. I totally understand a collector and someone that doesn't have tons of money that is able to get like that biker scout action figure, but he can buy it without his weapon. And he wants to put it in display because, like any other collectors, but he doesn't have the money to pay for the complete action figure on eBay with shipping and stuff, or buy it from someone else. And if he is able to get a repro gun for that biker scout action figure and pay like $2 for it or $3 for it, and he just put it inside his display, and he wants to have it on display, and he's not using it to resell it. And the guy that is actually selling these things actually says, hey, by the way, that's not an original. That's just a piece of plastic that it was made like in Japan or whatever. And it's not worth the same thing as an original. And it's not the same plastic or blah, 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 blah. I understand that. I totally can understand it because I'm that kind of guy. When you go ahead and watch on eBay the value nowadays of the black Princess Leia gun from 1977, just a fucking gun is going to cost me 2 weeks of food over here. If you want to buy the black Luke Stormtrooper rifle, it's going to cost you 3 weeks of food over here. So personally, if I have a Luke Stormtrooper and I put a fucking repro gun in his hand, I don't mind. I don't care. But I am totally against people that are they actually use the naivety of people that don't know what is a repro and what's an original. And I'm gonna give you another example, and it's not from the Star Wars universe, but it's still in collecting. Nowadays, you can actually buy a Wayne Gretzky rookie card and find out that it's actually a repro. It's like, what? And for me, that's terrible. They're making repro cards of Wayne Gretzky rookie because this card is worth tons of money, and people are actually buying cards and paying big cash, big money to get that Wayne Gretzky rookie card. And when they send into PSA to get it graded, they receive a letter that say, by the way, that's a fucking fake, man. And now you're trying to get back to the guy that actually sold you the Gretzky rookie. He's like, fuck, man, I paid like, I don't know, $1,000 for your card, and you just sold me something that was printed at your house or whatever. So that's wrong. So I totally understand that. And I'm a seller. I trade, I sell stuff. And it happens that people are actually telling me, Phil, I want that action figure. I'm going to take this one. That's not a Star Wars action figure, but let's say that that's a Demigard. So Phil, I want a Demigard. Okay, perfect. He actually looks more like Kirk, but probably more like me. See, that's my action figure right there. But I need the axe. I'm out of axes. I don't have any axes, original hacks, but I've got a repro one. So I'm gonna say to the person to whom I'm selling this, by the way, I don't have an original. I have a repro that is cheap. But it looks okay on the if you want to put it on display. But don't sell it as an original after that. And I totally understand the fact that they're saying burn everything down, because as soon as someone sells a repro, the person to whom you're selling it just have to turn around and, hey, that's an original, and he makes money on it. And that's the reason why the ICCC, Yoda's workshop, all these groups, all these people that actually help one another is important, because we need places that where we can go and buy stuff and trade stuff and ask questions when we have some on collecting, and to be sure to have a right answer and not being told lies and sold stuff that are cheap or not original. So I totally understand that. So guys, the Q&A is over. So next week we're gonna talk about we're gonna see the next 2 episodes of Andor. So I don't remember which one we're at, 6 and 7. I don't know. Or 7 and 8. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be 7 and 8. Not sure. So see you next week. We might do more of these Q&A when there'll be more questions. And James, I've got the note. Whoop. I've dropped something. I hope it's not your note. No, that's another thing. Okay. So, guys, thank you very much for being around. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to this and joining me every week. If you are new to this, please join the Yoda's Workshop Facebook group. You also can join the YouTube channel to be sure to not miss any of the Vintage Kids. Thanks, Louis. No problem, man. Thanks, James. Now I'm gonna say James. Oh, hello, James. But we're gonna get confused with James Recipe, man. But that's okay. It's like Joe Ferraro and Joseph Ferraro. You're telling me that that's not the same person? Just like Kristen Lee and Sam Colbert, they're not the same person? What? Anyway, so now we're gonna have to believe that James Arsenault is actually Jim Arsenault. We're gonna need some proof. Where's Greg Marshall, by the way? Greg, where are you? I'm pretty sure Greg would have great questions. Anyway, so if you're listening to this and it's not live, you can still send me questions. I'm going to answer them. And as usual, as I always say every week, be safe, be good, be wild, be you, and have fun, because life is fucking short. And do what you love. Do what brings you happiness. Be kind with the ones that loves you. Be kind with the one that you love, because they are so important to us. Yeah, I mean, your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your dog. Life is short. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow on the MMC. I cannot miss the MMC. It's part of my life now. And it's a funny thing, because this podcast was actually born from the MMC, because the fun that we've been having for the last 2 years, I wanted to bring it to something different than the MMC. And a podcast was something that I thought would just be great. And no winnings, no selling, no games, just fun, just to chat with friends and learn some stuff and make new friends. Like I said, I don't care about the numbers. I don't care the fact that there's 1, 2, 3 person, 1,000 person. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for the fame. I'm doing this for fun. And it brings me a lot of joy doing it. So, because I have the chance to spend some times with you guys. And that is actually priceless. And this is actually what life should be. Take time to have fun with the people that you love, you enjoy being with. So I'm going to go cry and finish my coffee. And see, that's great, man. When I see that people are actually waiting for the episode, that's the best. So guys, take care. See you next week. We'll talk about Endor next week, or perhaps if it's not Endor, we'll have our friend talk about R2D2s and vintage R2D2s or vintage Boba Fett toys. So take care. Have fun. Go do some crazy stuff, but not Donner kind of crazy. Bye.